Assembly, thanks to Carlton Draft, the most brewery-fresh Carlton Draft, the freshest beer in the world. What a week it's been. Andy, Maher, Mick, Molloy, Sam, hang in.
Yeah, come on.
How good is it? We're playing for this tomorrow, and hopefully...
Don't touch it, Andy.
Hopefully the Western Bulldogs, and with all due respect to the magnificent South Melbourne, Sydney supporters out there, the Western Bulldogs, for the first time since 54, Mickey, since 54, get their hands on this cup.
I'm just, you know what, I wish the struggling club had a chance. I'm sick of all the stuff that Bulldogs have been handed over the years. All these draft concessions from the AFL. What about the little clubs?
The little clubs?
Like Hawthorn. I see there's a table of some players. Hey, guys, guess what? You're not getting this year. Sorry. That was juvenile. Here you go. No!
Can I just say, it's a very good point Mick makes, the Western Bulldogs. Do you think it's time for a second team out of Footscray?
It's going to be time for a second team.
Also, by the way, if the Western Bulldogs win that tomorrow on Saturday, I reckon by Monday it'll be in a pawn shop, by the way.
Why not?
To everyone.
We better put it somewhere safe. Can you come and take the cup
thank
away?
You, mate. Well done.
It'd be great to do that. Just so we know
well
it's somewhere we need to. He works here, doesn't he?
I hope so.
Never see, he wasn't part of the rehearsal. We've got a heap of people dropping by tonight to talk about the year that's been and the game that's coming up. We want to introduce a couple of people right through. There's a pretty unruly looking crowd here.
Sure, we've got some security. Please welcome Mick Martin.
Yes.
Mickey!
We want no trouble from anyone tonight, so you rule with an iron fist, please, Mick. We've got you on. And if Plugger turns up, I suggest you let him in. Do we all remember this famous bit of footage? What were you thinking?
What are you thinking right now?
I'm in trouble, but I can't see any of my teammates coming to help me out. So I think I was on my papa.
And then you've clearly recovered from that grab around the throat too, because it's... You've really come good.
Mick, I've got to ask, someone get a packet of strepsils for Mick, will you? Who started that?
I think Plugger gave me an elbow, so natural reaction was to throw one at him. And then saw the whites of his eyes and then thought to myself, I'm in a lot of trouble here.
What about young Sam Pang here? He did exactly the same thing in the E.J. Whitten game. He is attacked by Martin Pike, I think, or it could be a walrus attacking an elephant seal. Great to have you on. Great to have one of the greats of the game and...
Two-time premiership player.
No, what else? Yeah, well, let's hope that it's so good that you're here on the door, and let's hope that there's no trouble tonight, you know what I mean? Because we don't want this to turn into a Kangaroo North Melbourne premiership reunion, so let's just... We're in good hands.
Let's go to the bar, shall we?
Well, we've got the door covered. We've got the bar covered as well. A man who was part of history in 2005 when Sydney broke that 72-year drought for the South Melbourne Footy Club. Making welcome our man behind the bar, Tadhg Kennelly, everybody.
Thank you. You look quite at home there behind the bar.
It's not your stereotypical, is it? You know, come here, you got to put an Irishman behind the bar. Hang on a second, you know. You might, there's a chance you mightn't get served here, Mick.
It's great to have an Irishman behind the bar who hasn't been punched up by Fev.
2005, Tadhg, let's go back there. I mean, you're part of that unbelievable... And you did this. This is the mark that you left on the 2005 Grand Final. They were celebrating back in Listowel, your hometown back here in Kerry.
And you know all about it, Andy. Actually, you were there, you covered it. You went over and flew over to Ireland.
What?
And he told everyone, well, I'm the King of Australia, I'm doing a documentary on myself. And it was nothing to do with me actually playing in a Grand Final. But the actual week itself, that Grand Final, it's 5 a.m. in Ireland, and it's the biggest race meeting in the town where I come from, so people are very lively.
That's where it was. Well, it would have been lively until Andy rolled up, because Andy, when he got there, we've got some footage of this, tried to keep a lid on it. Have a listen.
Oh, can we turn that down? Can we turn that down?
Guys, can you keep me flapping now?
We're about to do a live cross back to Australia. We just need a little bit of shush. They were pretty unruly. Although I remember your auntie There was a one-woman security force on the front door of that bar. One woman was keeping about 3,000 blokes at bay. She was a terrifying woman.
Yeah, my Aunt John, tough woman, but we also had a greyhound inside there, if you remember. There was actually a sheepdog, sorry. There was a sheepdog inside there, you know, rock in. But like I said, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. You're not allowed in pubs after 12, but the superintendent is actually inside the bar holding up the bar. So.
That's right. You guys know something? Between Ty and Mick, I can't understand a word anyone's saying here tonight. I'm not sure we've actually thought this through. Can I ask you about your little jig up there on stage? Is that a classic river dance? Did you pre-plan doing it?
I was a bit disappointed with my form, actually. You know, it was a bit too much head wobble. You know, I really needed to actually straighten it up a bit. But yeah, it was funny. I was going up and I was thinking, well, there's a lot of people at home watching. I knew, obviously, Andy was there. And I said, you know what? I'm proud of my heritage and let's go and do something Irish. And I'm very proud of it. And it was probably very instinctive.
It was a great moment. How do you think you'll go this year?
Yeah, look, it's dangerous territory here to actually be a Swan. You know, it takes us back, you know, in 2005, we were the love team.
Yes.
It's so much has changed in 11 years for the Swans as far as now the whole country's against us. Back in 2005, everyone wanted us to win the flag, you know, so...
It's good to see Buddy is saying this week that it's such a big occasion for him. Let's have a listen.
It's going to be an unbelievable game, whoever we play next week, and just soak it up right now because it doesn't happen often to get into a grand final, so...
Doesn't happen often. 4 of the last 5 he's played in. Doesn't happen often. We're going to get back to Ty throughout the night and back to Mickey throughout the night. We've got a heap of guests to join us here on the grand final edition of the Friday Front Bar. Our first special guest to join us after the break, the CEO of the AFL, Mr. Gillon McLachlan, everybody.
The world's grumpiest dog's massive payday. Plus, the great WAG debate. Weekend Sunrise, 7 a.m. on 7.
Dear Kitchen, I have a confession to make.
I take the picture, share it, and then I add lots of ketchup. Lots.
What makes a woman feel beautiful?
A radiance that shines deep inside.
It's an elegance that glows from within.
A youthful aura.
Advanced Genifique by Lancôme. Every serum drop infuses youthful radiance throughout the skin. Advanced Genifique, the serum that makes you love your age. Lancôme. Receive your Lancôme gift valued over $200. Hurry for a limited time at Maher.
Visit Maher today.
Allergies and hay fever can hit at any time, leaving us looking and feeling less than our best. Try Zyrtec nasal spray. It gives you targeted allergy relief in minutes and works at the source to rapidly relieve visible symptoms like sneezing and runny nose, so it's great for when you're on the go. Try Zyrtec nasal spray for relief in minutes, or for rapid 24-hour relief, pick up Zyrtec tablets at your Terry White chemists or Chemmart pharmacy, your wellbeing destination.
Now at Optus, you can get data-free movies, music and more. Stream endless entertainment without using your data on selected plans and apps. Only with Optus.
Right now, when you spend $50 or more at Coles, you'll receive 1,000 bonus Flybuys points. That's right, spend $50 or more at Coles and receive 1,000 bonus Flybuys points. Offer ends Sunday, but only at Coles.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there are so many different prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares the prices of over 600,000 hotels from over 200 different websites. So instead of searching for hours or spending too much, Trivago makes it easy for you to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Just go to Trivago, type in where you want to go, and with 2 clicks, select your check-in and check-out dates and search. It's that simple. Trivago searches hundreds of websites at the same time and shows you the most popular hotels. You can adjust the price so that it fits in with your budget, or select the number of stars, or filter by average guest ratings from over 100 million reviews. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. And that's how you can be sure that you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
As a first home buyer, you can often feel shut out of the property market. That's why at Credit Union SA, we're offering home loan customers a $5,000 first home buyers grant to help you get a foot in the door. Talk to Credit Union SA today.
Get relief from the symptoms of medically diagnosed irritable bowel syndrome such as pain, constipation, diarrhoea, gas and bloating with Ethical Nutrients IBS support. Break free from the symptoms of IBS. Available in the fridge at pharmacies and health food stores.
Welcome back to the grand final edition of the Friday Front Bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh at Carlton Draft. We are very, very lucky and fortunate to see CEO of the AFL, Mr. Gillon McLachlan, in the studio. Welcome, boss.
Just
Thanks,
like
Dennis.
to congratulate you coming from a great Brownlow. I think it was over a bit quickly. I'd really like to tease it out for a couple more hours. We'll get to that in 1 second, but I want you to talk us through this bit of footage from the week previous. There you are sitting with Andre Agassi. Now, clearly you couldn't get Bernard Tomic, so you've gone with Agassi, and...
Yeah, Gil, how slow a night is it when a bloke who played tennis for 20 years is bored? Unbelievable.
Can I get you... Now, there's a story going around town. It's floating around town, and it's a good one, and I want you to confirm it. But he was supposed to go. At the last minute, he said, I'm not going. You picked up the phone and said, why don't you get your ass down here, you fat, bald little prick? Was that how it went?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Right, no.
I may have embellished that.
Yeah.
Tell us the story, because it's a ripper.
Well, he was coming through a guy called Ben Crow, do you know Ben? And he was his manager or whatever he is. And so he said 10 minutes before the function, Andre can't get there, a bit of jet lag, he's had a big day, but he'll be there for the start of the game. And I just replied saying Sampras wouldn't have pulled out. And...
Let's go back to the big night, Brownlow night, which was a ripper. A worthy winner. Yeah.
He's a great player, he's a great person, and he's the sort of guy who should win Brownlows. He's great. And he was as nervous as hell, you could tell. He came very late, Danger. I think he only got like a couple of votes in the first 9, and then he came with a rush, and I don't reckon he was probably prepared.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about the votes, because let's have a look at the votes arriving here. And look at this, and they're coming through, and here... Actually, that's not the votes, that's your annual wage being delivered. There it is. So... Hey, can I ask you, this whole hoo-ha about the Army Guard van, how long's this been going on? How long's this bit of theatre been going on?
I don't know.
Was there originally an incident? Did someone roll the Army Guard van? What happened?
I don't know what happened, but I do think that he is the best person to be carrying that. He scripted, that guy, wasn't he?
No one's taken those votes off that bloke.
No.
Gil, I just wanted to say, mate, you did a great job, but from a viewing perspective, because I didn't get an invite, just sitting at home watching on the telly, you did a magnificent job. But I do yearn for the old days when there was some special commentary in between the votes, and of course the great Bob Skilton was a master at it.
Melbourne, P. Moore, 3.
Peter Moore. 2 lots of 3, so he's sitting there with 6 votes.
Gil, how...
Hey.
Mate, is that
6.
Is that right?
It's 6.
All right. Well, what about... So that one's right, Mickey?
Yeah, that's
all
right.
What about this one, then?
P. Egan, 3 votes.
Philip Egan doing quite well. He's voted now in 3 games, 2 1s and a 3.
Right. 2 1s and a 3. Does that equal 7, Mick?
No, it doesn't. No, I'd possibly do a recount on that year. I'm not sure that's up to...
Seriously, Gil, can you check that? Because that was 1984 and Peter Moore won with 2005 votes. So, I don't know if we're completely right there.
I tell you what, there's a lot of things going through your head when you're up there for 4 hours.
Tell you where people are with you, and this is a ticket that we'd all like to have access to one of these days, is the dinner that you have for the coaches at your place every year.
There's the Scott brothers, of course, and everyone... Oh, look, even a male stripper's turned up. And Chris Scott, what's the bottle?
That was a Pinot, I reckon.
Better than anything you had downstairs?
No, the Scots always bring some vino. It's a very intense dinner.
Yes,
you know what they're like. They've got a lot of views.
Do you put Bolton in a high chair? Does it take you a while to get the old man smell out after Rodney Eads leaves? Here's one for you. At the end of the night, did they smash all your phones? After they've called a cab, there's a Scott Brothers banging them on the table.
I get very direct feedback at night.
Seriously?
And what's it about?
What do you talk about?
Well, whatever they want to talk about. It can be umpiring, it can be rules, it can be fixturing, buys, these sorts of things. So whatever those guys want to talk about, because I reckon they're incredibly important in the game.
They are, no doubt about that. Do any of them talk about the excessive concessions that have been given to the GWS Giants, for example, who went very, very close? I mean, they're only 5 years into their existence.
No, they're all incredibly supportive, Andy.
Are they? Of course they are, Gillon. I've got no doubt about that. I wonder how supportive they would have been had they got over the line last week. You'd be doing your health checks on the Giants pretty routinely, I imagine. How are they tracking?
Yeah, pretty well. If you were there last weekend, it was an incredible game. Yeah. The atmosphere was amazing, and a team that was, close to going through to a grand final. They'll build. It's a sort of 25-year thing, I think, before they're as big as the Swans or Bulldogs, but they're there strategically and they're building, and they are a club with a passionate group of supporters now, and they've got a great culture.
I've got a couple of quick ones here, if you don't mind. Just got a couple of quick questions. While we've got you here, this is the first time you've ever been on the show, Gil.
No.
Your brother Hamish, do you think Channel 7 should use him more?
I know that he thinks he should be used more.
Is he the cash cow? He does a lot of stuff there, Gil. He does a lot of stuff. All right, that's all right. And
I'm only taking 10%.
The other one here I've just got. Your hair is magnificent.
Can I touch it?
You can do it.
Can I just blow in your ear?
It's not a question, it's just a statement, Gil.
Hey, we want to thank you for dropping by, and also congratulations on the great job that you've been doing. It's been, so far, it could have been better, and the introduction of the Women's League is fantastic. There's so much to like about the direction the game is heading in. And on a personal note, I wanted to congratulate you about the birth of your baby girl, for you and Laura. It's a fantastic... We hope... We've taken a liberty, but we bought a present, if you don't mind, for the young girl. What's her name?
Luna.
And we just thought this is a standard... Oh, good friend. No, it's a rocking horse. And there's a little polo mallet to go with it. There it is.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Couldn't be happier.
Very generous present. Thank you.
Have a great grand final. Thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
You can't get to the Brownlow. You got to the tickets to the grand final?
I'm umpiring it. It's fine.
McLachlan, CEO of the AFL, a very special guest. Thanks for coming on the show. Have a great grand final weekend. Stick around here on the Friday front bar grand final edition. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carbon Draft. When we come back, Santo Cilauro to join us on the show. Please make welcome Santo Cilauro.
When they asked him how many seats do you need, he said 76.
Mate, you've been a Collingwood fan for a while.
Hang on.
Right, shot clock. Yeah. Shot clock. I'm not sure what his first name is. Let's just call him Jay Pollock.
You should have seen the one that they wanted to have, To Whom It May Concern. There was a guy up in the stands. If you look carefully, he was very upset with the guy's behaviour. He was like, mate, calm. See, you got to stop. You have to... The guy just wouldn't stop. He just wouldn't stop. He's got a fracture that goes all the way from his Chinese dragon, right, all the way to his panther. If Brisbane left, would that be a Brexit? That would be another Brexit. That would be another Brexit. Clokey wasn't allowed to wear his glove a couple of weeks ago, so he just gave it to me.
Well, wasn't it supposed to be too adhesive or overly sticky?
I don't think so.
Where would we have been in 2016 without the great man, one of Collingwood's favourite sons, Santo Cilauro, everybody.
Hi, guys. How are we?
Lovely to have you back.
What a great night. This is fun.
It's fun, isn't it? Grand final week.
Is this what it's like inside a pub? It's fantastic.
Your fondest grand final memory, is there one when you think about, all the grand finals, the good and the bad that you've been to as a Collingwood supporter?
Andy, I've been to 7 losing grand finals, OK?
Wow.
So my fondest memory is actually being at a winning grand final.
Right,
that was in 2010, so I wasn't there for 1990, but I'd missed out on all 7.
Can I say, I would love to have been at all 7 Collingwood losing grand finals.
All right, we know.
That would be my best memories. One of my favourites is Don Scott in the follow-up after 76. Look at him handle a bottle of champagne. Not getting... No! And open... And no. This is after being north. And bang. No.
It keeps going, Mickey. And
never get Don Scott to launch your yacht, OK? Because it'll take a while.
You don't want him winning a Grand Prix, do you? No,
Santo, you know I love you. You're an old friend. Why are you here?
I'm here because, look, I tell you why I am here.
Yes.
There was an interesting moment at the end of the Hawthorn game. So they went out in straight sets, of course. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Andy. You laugh at that.
I know.
I almost sang the song.
Now, Clarko, at his press conference, went straight for the comparing Hawthorn with the 27-30 Collingwood side.
He did.
Talk about Collingwood and 4 in a row, and it's a fantastic achievement. But honestly, they won 2 of those, losing a preliminary final. Collingwood, they're just like, anyway. That's by the by.
Well, that's by the by. It was 1927, but I still hate him. I've brought in some light reading, guys. This is. Forget about all that. Forget all that. Yeah, go Pies. Forget all about the Romeo and Juliet on your Year 12 curriculum. You should have these stuff on. So I did a bit of reading about the 27-30 sides, just to see how good actually were they. Now,
what did you learn?
Nickname, Sam?
Oh, they were called the Machine.
They were called the Machine. In 1927, Collingwood beat Richmond in a grand final, 2 goals 13. To 1 goal 9. Okay, that was 1 goal 7. 1 goal 7. Sorry, I overstated it. 1 goal 7.
1 goal 9 would have been a shootout.
An old-fashioned shootout.
Yeah, so lots of points being kicked there. Was Clokey's great-grandfather playing by any chance?
You know, it's so annoying having a half forward that every time he has a shot on goal, the opposition invoke the deliberate out-of-bounds rule. It's just so annoying. But you know, believe it or not, Luke Beveridge's grandfather, Jack Beveridge, played in all 4 of those premierships for Collingwood. Yeah, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame 6 years ago, and Luke Beveridge actually accepted it for him. But let me just go through a little bit of the history of the 1927 team, because it's quite incredible. They lost the 25 and 26 grand final. OK, so the following year, after losing by 57 points to Melbourne after being red-hot favourites, they sacked Charlie Tyson not only as captain but as a player. They replaced him with Sid Coventry. Quote, he was hard, but almost always fair. Almost always fair. He cut the perfect figure as a footballer, standing at about 5'11" and 13 stone 8. They also recruited Carlton Harold Dasher Rumney. By the season's end, he had starred in 17 matches and won a stylish new hat as best first-year player.
Yeah, I happened to...
That's the hat.
And he's wearing it tonight.
Oh, I think Andy was actually playing in that game.
19th man.
Jock McHale also imposed a tough new fitness regime. He ordered the players that they should, quote, not overindulge in eating, drinking or smoking, and that if they go out jazzing, the early part of the week was the time for it. So...
How do you win grand finals if you lose preliminary finals?
There was a challenge system. So if you were the minor premier, if you finished on top of the ladder, which Collingwood did, I think, in all 4 years, you get to play a semi-final. If you win that, you go straight into the grand final. If you lose that, you get to play a prelim, and basically, if you finish higher than anyone below you... This is the Duckworth-Lewis rule, isn't it? It's just so hard.
It's so complicated.
You can basically...
You challenge.
You can challenge, and so therefore Richmond, who came second for 3 of those years, had to beat Collingwood twice after a semi-final.
I just wish Richmond could challenge every time they finished 9th. That would be challenge.
That would be good.
We're in.
Guys, I wish we could find out how good they actually were in that time, but I guess we'll never know because there were never any programs in 1927 that actually analysed shows. So
many analytical shows
I wonder if only we had a show in 1927 that could analyse the game.
What a cracking game of football. And now, without further ado, let's go down to the lads in the war room for the latest intrigue on the game.
Well, thank you very much, Errol. Yes, it certainly was a wonderful game of Australian rules football, and the VFL should be very proud of both teams that competed in the 1927 Grand Final. The mobility around the ground was incredible. Clive, what do you make of the ruck duels, the big men? Indicate on the board.
In the ruck, we saw their ruckman start the game here.
Yeah.
Then by the end of the game, he'd moved here.
My goodness, we must move to our high-tech blackboard. Now, let us look at the statistics. Broken bones, 1,117.
Richmond, 1,342.
That's where the game was won and lost.
And of course, the big one, Herbert, OTS, stands for?
Ounces of tobacco smoked. Collingwood, 92.
Richmond, 247.
Well, there you
Who would
have
have
it.
thought they'd run out of puff?
Very pithy. It's now back to Errol.
That was an intense war. Wow. I'm going to go and have a cigarette.
That is very, very good. Very, very good.
I just want to say one statistics for the end of the game. Bruce Andrew, because there was a lot of young players in that Collingwood side, quote, only a few of us drank in those days. I could count the chaps who had a beer on one hand, but we had a good night. We called in for a milkshake down at Taylor's Milk Bar down near the town hall before heading off for a night at the Austral Theatre to watch one of the latest shows. That's a mad Monday.
That is a crazy time.
It's good to see times haven't changed.
We're going to be winding back the clock a little bit later, of course, after we're done here with the footy marathon, which is the grand final marathon, which is one of the great staples of grand final week, where we get to look back at all the old games. And Tim Watson, of course, going to be hosting the grand final marathon a bit later on.
While we're on the Watson family, great news. I mean, I particularly loved Job Watson coming back from New York. Good on him. I'm so glad. That's great. He gave a wonderful press conference where he said he changed his attitude when he was in the Big Apple. He went with the flow of things a lot more.
Did a heap of things. I went over there and I said yes to everything. So if someone asked me to do something, I'd say yes, whatever it was.
Say yes to everything. Isn't that what got him in trouble in the first place? I'm not quite sure.
Hey, Santo, stick around. We might see you a bit later on the show.
Do you mind hanging around? Thank you for all your input over the course of the year. It's been great. Give them around.
But before we go, so we're going to see a bit more of Santo a bit later on, but going to the break, I mean, when it comes to September and it comes to finals, Mickey, I put to you that one voice is the voice of the anthems of the game that many of us have grown up with, and we're blessed tonight.
It's the great Mike Brady is with us. How are you?
Right.
Now, Mike, it's a special time of the year, and you've written a beautiful anthem, and it's one that has become part of the Australian psyche, and I'd love you to play it for us now, here, live, because it gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. Will you play us your great, great song?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to.
Here we go.
Me, I like football. There's a lot of things around. When you line them up together, a biscuit win hands down. 'Cause you can't beat a sail, you can't beat a sail, you can't beat a sail or a sail break.
Whoa! What are you doing?
You've gone rogue,
I'm
Mike.
singing my favourite songs.
No.
It's not one of your best, Mike.
Oh, OK.
Listen,
All right.
Brady.
Yes, young Sam?
You are here for one reason and one reason only. That is to sing the classic. So, we'll just do this one more time.
All right, well, what about
Here we
this?
go.
Come on, mate. Give the crowd
Well,
what they
we've
want.
come a long way since the start of things. We've seen the joy that hard work brings. You've made us cry, you've made us smile. We've hit the front, now it's all worthwhile. 'Cause we're SPC, baked beans and spaghetti. A big way to start your day. SPC, baked beans, not delicious. Spaghetti is good.
No, that's it. Mick, have a look at this bloke. Tap it on the shoulder. Go away and have a think about it.
Have a think, mate.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, get out.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
SPC.
Sorry about that. That was...
Get out.
What a bum. What a bum.
Bang, bang, bang out of order. I can't believe he's done that. Apologise. Mickey, you teed this up.
No. We will get him back to do what we teed up, which is him singing his great anthem, and he will come back and do that.
It's an absolute schmozzle here on the front bar all of a sudden.
What is
Apologies
it?
for all of that. We'll straighten up in the break and we'll come back with more after this.
Monday, 7:30, it's here.
This is the X Factor.
The biggest show of the year is here. The next generation take it to the next level.
Just don't forsake it
X Factor is here. Monday, 7:30. And Jessica Malboy is here.
Tell them I'm your daughter.
The spectacular new Australian drama begins.
In the morning, they'll all know the truth.
The Secret Daughter is here. The only place to be Monday is right here on 7.
The world's largest production of Hairspray is coming to Adelaide in October, and final tickets are on sale now. Starring Simon Burke, Christine Arnoux, Tim Campbell, Wayne Scott Kerman, and Lauren McKenna as Tracy Turnblad. Don't miss Hairspray, the big fat arena spectacular. Final tickets on sale now, 14th and 15th October, Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Get your tickets now at tickettech.com.au.
You're thinking, I want the world's most refreshing lemonade. It starts with a secret recipe. Using real lemons. And limes. Oops, that's the secret. Blend them, cool them, and wait till it clears. Looks like there's only one thing left to do. Let it out.
Natural gas keeps my showers hot for as long as I want.
Get out! You've been in there for ages!
Natural gas means there's no shortage of romantic nights on the couch.
Everyday experts recommend natural gas.
The Nick Scali Lounge Sale is on now. For a limited time, up to 50% off selected items, floor stock and discontinued lines. Up to 50% off lounges. Nick Scali.
Bring me a higher love.
Bob Jane T-Mart's Super Deals, Super Brands. Buy any set of 3 Bob Jane All-Rounders or Zenons and the 4th is free. At Bob Jane T-Mart's, we'll look after you.
How good is it when you get free stuff chucked in on top? Yoink. Like you book a room, you get slippers and body lotion. And that, you marry the girl, you get the nonna. Thanks, Mama. Put on glasses, you look cleverer. And if you're really clever, you use Sportsbet Power Play and get bigger odds. Just hit the button and watch your odds power up. Power Play from Sportsbet. Don't chew them.
These holidays, choose your own adventure at AMF. We guarantee an action-packed day of bowling, arcades, laser, delicious eats, competitions and more. Book one of our awesome packages from $19.90. Search AMF Bowling to book online today.
Is it possible for one product to remove makeup, dirt, and oil? If you have the right one. New Neutrogena Micellar Gel to Foam. Discover its unique dual texture. Micellar Gel acts like a magnet to capture makeup and impurities. Then it transforms to soft foam to deeply clean. For healthy-looking skin in just one wash. New Neutrogena Micellar Gel to Foam. See what's possible.
What do you like most about what's going on down there at Carlton?
The most exciting part of Carlton, I think, this year is their delistings. No Warnock, no Henderson, no Bell, Ellard and Watson. It's an exciting time to see at Carlton.
The big news has been Port Adelaide and this revelation that they've, for 2 years, been working towards getting a game in China.
Santo, Schummer.
I think I need BT in coaching and maybe a bit of wowee action. By the way, wowee is one of the commentators' names.
Just a high-intense game of chess, really.
Just a high-intensity game of chess.
Yeah.
This is Bishop to Rook 4.
Checkmate.
Why wouldn't you want to be the birth of your child?
Well, you would, but I mean, you don't want to let your teammates. Were you there at the birth of your child?
No, Carlton were playing in a NAB Cup game. So tell us about Ty Vickery's pretend mark, Mickey.
In his defence, it was a pretend screamer. It could be pretend mark of the year. He could win a pretend cup.
I'll tell you how low the bar is at the moment. It was a drop punt. It was the wrong way. Thumbs up. If his foot connects with the ball, thumbs up.
This is my favourite fan of the week. Have a look at this little kid. Bang! Oh, he's done nothing wrong and whack!
You know, you mentioned that Stephen Dank story.
Yeah, sure. Oi!
What's he got to worry about?
I'd love to see him get a job in a call centre.
Gary Baker here. The best thing about that is, if you turn that card upside down, it looks the same.
Last week, after the game, when the Hawks were singing the song, the umpires were in the middle getting a Gatorade check.
You wanted to walk off the ground, and every last ounce has been deposited on that field. That's exactly what Bryce Gibbs did.
Murray, in Gibbsy's defence, that is the traditional reaction to a David King interview.
I'm king of the world!
Andy, that hat's out of date.
And what date is that?
1914.
Sold him! Richmond, Richmond!
When Gary Ablett's name comes up, it's amazing to think it's still not as good as his dad. I think that is an interesting point to make. Well, I thought it was interesting. No one else did.
Heads is the call. It's a tail. Wicket. Thank you.
He didn't say that, did he?
Had it been heads, it would have been totes amazement. Is it true that you said after that incident that he does not walk off this field?
I'm not quite sure that I said that.
You did. Inside football, it says, is he the new Coleman?
I'd love to get my hands on who wrote that.
I'm looking at you now, I'm thinking, when they say is he the new Coleman, I think they meant Jonathan Coleman. Thank you for coming in, mate.
Thank you very much for having me and reflecting on such great work from all of us.
Have you seen the show?
I've seen it. I've seen the start. Normally I get.
Welcome back to the grand final edition of the Friday Front Bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Colour Off. We got the tanks here at the General Assembly, delivered straight from the brewery, the freshest beer you can possibly get.
It comes straight from the brewery. I know that because I've tracked it myself.
It's
in a stakeout.
It's unpasteurised.
I love it.
You know what unpasteurised.
There's the big tanks up there.
Yeah, it's
We
unpasteurised.
love them.
A man who knows all about that because he's in the Cape, but please make him welcome. A man who played 226 games for the Bulldogs. His old man played over 100 as well. They are Footscray / Western Bulldog royalty. Luke Darcy, everybody.
Hello, mate. Sam. Let's start with this week for you. I've had the pleasure of being around you for most of last week and saw the build-up and what it means to you and your family and so many of the Bulldogs supporters. Can you talk us through it? You told me a beautiful story about your boys. Let's start with your boys and your daughter. They're Footscray through and through. Have a look at this reaction on the line. This is filmed. Yes! That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's why we follow this great game.
Well, you can't replicate that in any other part of your life. Young Will's 9 years of age and going absolutely mental on the siren. And it's, you know, what other thing does that to you? And I've lost my mind completely. I absolutely just could not be more excited. I was telling you the other day, my old man's 73. I've never seen him cry in the whole life.
David Darcy.
Burst into tears on the final siren because it's a long time, 55 years without being in grand final. He started in 1962, so he missed the last one by a year. So it's a fair time coming, Mick.
All generations, and there's been a lot of tears down there at Footscray this year. He hasn't been the only one. Tell me, these are some of the fans, and I think a lot of the fans have been introduced to the wider football public for the first time. Explain the passion. Is it because you've survived it all? Is it because you're a grassroots side?
Yeah, I think it is. I think, you know, the 8 or 10,000 who made their way up to Sydney, it's as emotional as I've ever been in footy, any stage in the whole time I've been involved in the game. And, you know, that changes people's lives. You can just see it's...
harden up, little fella.
I mean, for a lot of that's the best day of a lot of people's lives, and you know, it's what footy is brilliant. It's what we love about the game more than anything.
Just to shine a light on how long it's been, we found Johnny Taranto found some vision from 1954. This is the last time they won a flag.
The MCG could be as packed as that if they let them sell it out.
That's
Look at
Ron Barassi Pole.
They're the good seats.
Yeah. that just puts it all into perspective. 54, it doesn't even look anything like the modern game, the way that it's parcelled and presented nowadays.
Yeah, and I spent most of my adult life, you know, playing at that club, and every week the first person to greet you was the great Charlie Sutton. And you walk in, you'd shake hands with Charlie. I had great pleasure to meet EJ before he passed away as well. And, you know, Charlie's great story from that grand final was he said, shop early to avoid the rush was his line, which meant Charlie went and built a suitcase out of 6 Melbourne players. So shop early. I'll look after the fights, you look after the ball. And he knocked 5 or 6 out, Charlie, and they reckon that was the game done and dusted. And he had a bad quad. Almost went into a game, couldn't play with the quad and strapped the other leg, which was interesting because in the VFL grand final, Lin Jong, almost as a tribute back to that, taped his other shoulder with a broken collarbone this week. So there's a bit of synergy going on.
Got a bit of a soft spot for Lin Jong, of course. And many people are saying that if it wasn't for me, there wouldn't be a Lin Jong, you know? So, when you're a trailblazer, you're first through the wall, you're a pioneer, but don't worry about it, it's fine.
This was a great time to be playing football. Have a look at this. This is a time when you could have a shot for goal with the torp.
The great Jack Collins.
15 metres out. And look at this. You would never get away with it today. Bang! And look at this. This is one of my favourites too. It's what I call a drop torp. I had no idea that was a thing.
How do you do that?
Travis Cloak's been trying to kick them all year, you know that?
And we've introduced the dribble kick for goal. Haven't we ruined this great game?
I mean, I know it's one of your great campaigns, and I'm with you. Bring back the torp is a campaign worth getting behind. It's one of the...
Could you kick it?
Unbelievably well, Andy.
Is that true?
No, not really. But I love it. They should bring it back.
Jordan and Jared Ruffhead are famous in their own right, and Jordan's writing his own story right now. Wouldn't be possible without Nana Ruffhead, who is here tonight. She loves you and Sam, loves you two, stays up after the footy every Friday night to watch you two lunatics. So,
good on you.
Nana Ruffhead, here's to you, here's to the young fellas. And not only to Jordan on the weekend, but to Jared. Everybody in this program wishes him the 100% recovery, and we love the fact that you love this show, and we're delighted to have you here tonight.
So Andy, she's not single, mate. Just get moving on. Just move it on, mate. Move on.
Hey, apologies, Nana. Hey, we've been talking about the Bulldogs supporters with your Darcy, and you know, hopefully Saturday's a great day for them. It could have been a great day for the long-suffering Giants supporters who have been through hell, let's be honest, and they tiptoed greatness last Saturday.
Been through hell, that's right. They haven't had a high draft pick for at least 10 months.
That was Melissa Doyle, of course, the #1 draft ticket holder, of course.
#1 ticket holder there at GWS. We tried to get her on today because we wanted to have a chat, formerly of Sunrise. She now does a Sunday night program. We tried to get her on for a chat, but she was too disappointed. So instead, we got the #2 ticket holder, also from Sunrise, the Cash Cow. He's here.
Oh, the Cash Cow's here.
Cash Cow.
Oh, no. And look, I don't want to overread this, but by the looks of that shot, he's already had a couple of milks.
Right.
Chin up, little fight.
Mickey Martin's got an eye on him. We're going to break out of the way. Darcy, stick around because we're going to bring Ty Kennelly back in. We're going to have a chat about the grand final, get some insights from men who know the game better than us on the other side of the break. It's the Friday Front Bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft.
It's back. The show that proves love grows in mysterious places.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
Angela and I, we're getting married. Is the picture frozen?
The new series of Cold Feet, coming to 7.
Great food lives here.
And great prices live here too.
KR, for a limited time, up to 50% off selected items, floor stock and discontinued lines. Up to 50% off lounges. Nick Scarley.
Bring me a higher love.
She's beautiful.
Thanks, mate.
Nathan! Lee's having the baby, and our car won't start. It's either her baby or yours. We're gonna be really soon. We're gonna be really soon, okay? It's coming! It's coming! It's gonna be fine, all right? Thanks, Nate! Do you reckon we should have just called an ambulance?
Nah. When tough calls, it's a Farmers Union iced coffee or it's nothing.
Listerine kills 99% of germs for a 100% fresh mouth.
What's it like to not feel 100% fresh? We don't know. We swish Listerine. Listerine kills 99% of germs so you can be 100% in life. Bring out the bold.
I am brown and gold.
I am red and white.
Your colours define you.
Our colours unite us.
The colours in our hearts.
Timmy.
We are orange and charcoal. Red, white and blue.
Blue, red and gold.
These are my colours.
Well, that's extraordinary stuff. You've given Mick Martin the green light to let him back in?
Let him on. We're going to have another crack at this at the end of this segment.
Classic.
All right.
One more chance.
It's gonna happen. By the way, before we're going to go back to Tadhg just for a minute, did you tell me once that your father, when he played, him and these teammates used to wash their hair at half-time?
Yeah, we're not proud of it as a family. The Bulldogs in the 60s had a club hairdresser, and my dad was known at half-time to like getting his hair washed, and have a dart at the same time, which is true. Still get your hair washed.
I know you used to go for a bit of manscaping. Beyond that, sounds good.
Times have changed.
Times have changed.
It is the grand final, of course, and we've been speaking a lot about how the Western Bulldogs are trying to, break that drought from 54. Well, Tadhg Kennelly, who is behind the bar with us tonight, Darcy, I don't know whether you've said good day to him, but was part of that back in 2005. Tadhg, how often do you find yourself thinking back to that?
It's so similar in situations with the Dogs. You know, the similarities between the two, obviously, in the years and the gap, it's just incredible. And the letters and people actually talk and calling you and saying, I thought I'd die before I'd see the Swans win a premiership. The similarity is incredible.
What about the famous Leo Barry mark? What are your memories of it, mate?
If you can slow down his vision, you'll see what my memories of it were. I've actually grabbed hold of Ashley Sampi, and the actual grand final badge was on his chest on one side of it. And I've met Ashley since, and I actually ripped the badge off him in that moment, and you'd be a brave umpire, obviously, to call it, but they didn't, so...
Looking at that footage again, it's very, very unlucky not to get a Toyota ad. You know what I mean? Why they went with Leo Barry,
well, Leo's taking all the cash for it again, I can't even get in on this.
Tadhg, why will Sydney win it? If you were going to make a quick case for why the Swans will win this grand final, what would you say? How would you make that case?
Well, you can make the case for experience. You can make
David versus Goliath. It's the Swans with the $1 million Bondi superstars and the.
You got a $7 million man. Hang on. Whoa.
I don't get too lippy over there. Ty, come over and.
How many grand finals you won?
What do you say to that, though? That they start very well. Are you going to be on the ball right?
Well, you could get smacked out of the water, as Ty absolutely was correct in doing. They've won 2 finals in the first 10 minutes. They belted Adelaide. I just don't think this is a side that, with the way they play, I just can't imagine that they won't be anything apart from in the game. I mean, there's a chance that the talent gets them, but I think in heart and spirit, Sam Pang, they are going to be there right until the very last second, I promise you.
Wow, I get a bit scared when you direct things at me, mate.
You want your great players in the past to be committed, and you want to know that they are prepared to go the extra yard to do whatever needs to be done for the current crop to be able to achieve what they need to achieve.
Well, you gave up your ticket, didn't you, on the way back from Sydney last week? You gave up your ticket in business.
What?
Was it Jordan Ruffy?
Jordan Ruffy.
Yeah, I did. Tell you why, because I caught the plane up with the Swans on the way up,
yes.
and was shamed into it on the way up as Buddy Franklin walked past and Aliir with his knee injury, and I'm sitting there halfway through my omelette as Aliir's got his knee around his ankle, and I thought I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable about that. So on the way back, very happy to give up my seat.
Because you famously in the past stood in
don't start.
In business while your pregnant wife was down in economy. Are you putting the Footscray ruckman in higher status than your pregnant wife?
Can I just say in defence?
No. Anyway, welcome aboard. Thank you very much.
I didn't know she was pregnant at the time. She was in economy class.
She was 8 months, Darcy.
I thought she had indigestion, Sam. I didn't realise it was.
No, it was a great thing to do. And I can tell how much it means to you. It's been a big week, and we should give you credit. I know we muck around, but we give you credit for getting Luke Beveridge over there. You were instrumental in that whole decision. So, it must be very proud for you to watch that team go around now.
Well, it really is, me. I'm surprised by just how emotional it is. As Tadhg said, when it has been that long, the amount of ex-players that are flying into town to make sure that they're here, to be part of the grand final, and it sort of collects all the group that don't have a reason. If you don't win a premiership, you don't have a reason to get together, Tadhg, and this feels like it's maybe our time.
I remember when we won our 5 in the rooms afterwards, Andrew Dunkley and Paul Kelly gave me a hug and there was tears in their eyes, and it was incredible because they missed the opportunity of actually not getting the success, and it just reeks of this. It's just incredible, the actual similarities between the two.
Also, they were in tears because they had 100 on West Coast that day, but anyway.
It's going to be a hell of a day. Darcy, good luck. Good luck. Your contribution at Footy Club speaks for itself. And,
thanks, Andy.
We wish you and others like you
can
all the very
feel
best.
that everyone's on your team.
I've been wanting to have a beer at the Friday front bar for a long time, and this is a very good moment.
Luke Darcy, our very special guest. Now, Dennis Cometti, don't go anywhere. Dennis Cometti's going to join us on the other side of the debate, but... Mickey, I can't believe you let him back in.
Are we going to do this?
We are, yes.
Are you going to behave, Mike?
Yeah, I talked my way back in, and I've learnt the error of my ways, and I'm going to try and do my best.
Good, mate, because this could be a great moment for us. This could be a goosebump moment for us and everyone watching at home. So don't let us down. Let's play
important for me too.
Okay, your great song, the one that really gets us going at this time of year.
Well, you either love or hate it, depending on the score. But when your team run out or they kick a goal, how's the mighty roar? Hard yakka.
No, Mike.
Jesus.
Hard yakka. Hard yakka.
No.
This is on you,
That's
boy.
enough.
No.
You've embarrassed me. You've let yourself down.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said play your favourite song. Sorry, Sam.
It's all right, Mike. We've only got time for one last chance, all right? This is the greatest song in the history of football. You played it on grand final day. This is it. And listen, Brady, this is your last chance, mate.
I love being pushed around by you, Sam. I love it.
Give us the classic, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Brady. Here we go.
Up there, Kazali, in there and fight. Out there in Adam, show 'em you might. Dodo, dodo, internet that flies.
Mickey,
connect
yourself
out.
Mickey, that's it. Get him out. He's done. We're going to take a break, guys. Get him out, Mickey. Good work, Martin. Get that bum out of here. We're going to take a break here on the grand final show. Dennis Cometti sticking around. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Friday Front Bar, General Assembly. Back with more after this.
Good evening. South Australia is facing a new weather emergency tonight. Torrential rain has triggered widespread flooding. The statewide power blackout has also had tragic consequences: the destruction of human embryos stored at a fertility clinic in Adelaide. Nearly 200,000 AFL fans have cheered on the Western Bulldogs and Sydney Swans at the traditional grand final parade before tomorrow's decider. More than a dozen teenagers have had to be rescued from near the top of a 30-metre high roller coaster at SeaWorld on the Gold Coast. And Princess Charlotte has taken her first steps and spoken her first words in public after making a beeline for some balloons on the Royal Tour of Canada. The national weather: sunny for Brisbane and Sydney, clearing showers in Melbourne, for Hobart a shower or two, partly cloudy in Adelaide, showers and windy in Perth. And that is the latest 7 News. You can stay up to date at 7news.com.au. I'm Paul Kadak. Have a great weekend. Good night.
The Big Music Quiz just got a whole lot bigger. Saturday and Sunday are 2 big nights of fun, music and stars.
Oh, yeah. Maybe did a bad thing. Yeah.
Who was it?
I can't remember his name.
Play along with the Big Music Quiz, Saturday and Sunday at 7.
Wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up, get out of bed. Cheer up, the sun is red. Live, love, laugh and be happy.
You don't have to stop at toast when you start with Vegemite. Don't let the wrong home loan deny you of your freedom. Get the freedom you deserve. And home loan rates like this with People's Choice Credit Union. Break free. Call 13 11 82, visit a branch or inquire online.
On a spring day, I definitely want to wear something bright. Problem is, last weekend, I spilt some juice. That's no worries, because I've got my Vanish Gold. Give it a good rub, and it should be gone in about 30 seconds. And a full cup of Vanish Gold to my detergent, and the stain is gone.
When spring comes around, so do barbecue stains like this. Let me show you how to get it out with Vanish Gold. Rub the affected area. It works in 30 seconds. Straight in the machine. One more cup of Vanish Gold. No stain. You beauty.
At Priceline Pharmacy, shop from our Sisterhood catalogue until the 11th of October and help us raise funds for the Priceline Sisterhood Foundation. Save with great offers including 30% off L'Oreal Paris Cosmetics and skincare range. Shop in store, online or donate at Priceline Pharmacy.
Show. It's our last shout. We give a here's cheers to someone special, but we're breaking with protocol and traditional.
I've seen the show. I know what you're doing.
Well, we're going to do this right now. All rise, everyone, and celebrate the great Tadhg Cometti. The game won't be the same without him.
Dennis, that's for you. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
And I love doing this because I know how much it embarrasses you.
Well, I thought this was going to be a hostile environment. In fact, I offered the cash cow 50 for his suit. But, I'm glad it's all been friendly.
Why would we be hostile to you,
I just figured it might be. You know, I didn't know what to expect.
So much joy over so many years with your contribution to this great game.
It's right that we just spend a bit of time focusing on some of your great work.
Skims down towards Mullet. He's tackled. Almost the catch of the day. Sliding in was Harvey. Good pick-up. Graham in trouble. The old stripper Graham. And what about that bloody Franklin? Kicks to the wing. Oh, that's terrific. He's a wonderful player. The Amadeus of defenders.
Dennis, the Amadeus of defenders.
I read it somewhere. Who is Amadeus?
Well, I don't know. I was more of a Wagner man. I thought he had a bigger engine, and pound for pound was better than Amadeus.
You've always said that. And you know, I'm a Tchaikovsky man. His 1812 Overture is one of the greats.
That's right.
And Beethoven's Fifth Century is right there.
I always thought, Chopin, you beauty!
Well, I'm a Jackson Browne man myself.
Well, Andy, you're very quiet down there. We're talking about classical composers. You would have seen many of them live.
Yeah, I did.
A very big day tomorrow. It's your is it your last day? I need to ask you this. Are you riding off into the sunset, or are you still going to do local Perth games? Because it'd be sad to think that you're gone forever.
That's about the second time today you've asked me that. Do you know something? Have you heard something? Because I haven't.
I'd like you to answer it on television, so it's on record.
Well, I'm not sure what the future holds. I mean, I'm an elderly man now. Not many people are going to employ me, so I'm just going to go back and have a leisurely time in Perth and wait and see what happens. But I don't think I'll travel. I've retired from travel is what I've done. I haven't retired from football necessarily. I love football, always have, so...
Why have you retired from travel? Because I know you used to wear... Can I tell you the story? No, tell me about the... No, this is good. The leather pants. You used to wear leather pants.
I did.
When you were young and in another time. Tell us why you used to get around town in the leather pants.
Well, I was a very messy eater on planes, and they were the only things I could wipe clean. You go through turbulence. I mean, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it like the food itself.
Like you said, it's been a long, long journey. But way back in 1987, I think, Dennis.
Yes.
You shared the commentary booth with the great Bob Skilton, and he revealed one of your great loves.
What about this hot weather, Bobby? 31 degrees. Who will that favour?
Well, the last time it was 31 degrees, it was won by Hawthorn in 1961, their first flag.
Oh, trivia.
You've always loved trivia, haven't you, Dennis? What about the banter between you and Bob, back and forth?
It was electrifying, wasn't it? What I remember about that day was it was stinking hot.
Very hot, 31 degrees it got to.
We said, once Bobby and I got switched on, we were very good.
Hey, numbers are, whether you like stats or not, numbers are an integral part of your business. They have been, and they're increasingly becoming that way. And the man behind the numbers at Channel 7 is not, in fact, Bruce McAvaney. It is a young man by the name of Josh Kay. And he joins us tonight here on the grand final edition of the Friday Front Bar. Josh, I don't know where you are. Where are you sitting?
Gentlemen, lovely to be here. Ben, lovely to see you.
They are nothing without you. These men are nothing without you when it comes to the numbers, and I believe that you've tried to sum up the career of Cometti numerically.
That is correct. The question that I'm most often asked about Dennis is to do with the travel, and he says he's retiring from travel and just how far Den has travelled. Den's travelled around the world 41.5 times, and I would tell you how many kilometres it is. However, in Dennis's case, we measure it in centimetres. Den has travelled 326 billion centimetres.
Magnificent work by you. It would be remiss of us not to get a statistical tip from you regarding the grand final on Saturday.
The grand final will be won by the Western Bulldogs. They've never... The Doggies have never lost a match after the 24th of September. And the Swans in October grand finals are 1-3, haven't won one since 1909. So the Dogs are going to win tomorrow, 91-78.
Hey, Josh, you need to get out of the house more. That's all I'm saying.
Josh Kay, everybody.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
The Amadeus.
The Amadeus of stats.
I know we're going long, but I just want Josh reminded of the famous Centimetre Perfect, by the way, Dennis, which is also the name of your book, Centimetre Perfect, which is it's either got to do with the great phrase that you used or the thickness of it. So I don't know which one's which there, Dennis.
Sam, there's a lot of pictures in there too.
You are the doyen of commentary, and you will be missed. And here at Friday Front Bar, we've decided to get you on to hand out the Cometti Award for this year's Golden Cometti for great commentary of this year. I'll give you the envelope as well with the winner. But firstly,
don't open it.
No. Here are the nominations for the Golden Cometti this year.
The nominations for the Golden Cometti for 2016 are Sandy Roberts, Jiminy Crickets.
Milbury, again, Sinclair, Jiminy Cricket.
Matthew Richardson, Completely Wrong.
Actually played this ground well. They've beaten the Crows here before as well. In fact, Geelong haven't beat Adelaide here. Just my eyes deceiving me there. Reading something that I wrote down which is completely wrong.
Mark Rasciuto, G for Goal.
And there's a lot of G's over the back in that graphic.
G for
goal.
G for goal, yeah, over the back, close to goal.
Barry Hall, Tippett needs to lift.
Kurt Tippett out of the game. He needs to lift, and he's done so far.
Dennis, great. Wow. They're great nominations, all of them, Dennis.
They're terrific. The answer is Barry Hall.
Oh,
Barry
Barry.
Richo was stiff.
Richo was stiff. Thought you would have given it to Richo.
I would have given it to Richo.
Well, but just on the winner, though, the great Barry Hall, and well done to Barry. We've asked this of a few guests this year, Dennis. If you listen to Barry Hall's commentary here and just see if you can make, the doyen, if you can make sense of this.
Kurt Tippett out of the game. He needs to lift, and he's done so far.
What he's saying, I think, is... no, I don't know what he's saying. Can we replay it in slow motion?
OK, are we all done? Are we all solid? Are you going to have a big day tomorrow? It's a big call. Are you nervous at all? What goes through your head?
Well, it's been a busy week, so no, I'm not nervous. I think it'll be blessed relief in some respects. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to Sunday morning if all goes well. And big hug from Bruce.
Who wins?
Well, I hope the Western Bulldogs, but I think Sydney.
Dennis, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Dennis Cometti, our very special guest. What a contribution he has made to the game. We're going to take a break here on the grand final edition of the Friday Front Bar. When we come back, Mick Molloy wanted him on the show, and he's coming on after this. Neil Balme to join us next.
The world's grumpiest dog's massive payday. Plus, the great WAG debate. Weekend Sunrise, 7 a.m. on 7.
With a rate this low, your home loan will want to move itself. Discover better banking for all South Australians. Call Police Credit Union, visit a branch or apply online.
You're not seriously buying all this, are you? Husband, fake. Children, actors.
And is that an orchestra? No, that's the sound of luxury.
But strip away the cliches, and what are you really paying for?
A car.
The Skoda Octavia, for those who buy the car, not the ad.
Skoda, simply clever.
Play the Monopoly game at McDonald's. There's more ways to win great prizes instantly, like sensational Suzuki Vitaras and free fuel for a year from BP. So get into Macca's today for a 1 in 5 chance to win instantly.
Hi, I'm Rin, and I'm going to show you how Rinai makes my home totally comfortable. Come on in. Ah, how cool is our Rinai air conditioner? Look at that fur fly. And our Rinai Infinity lets him set the hot water temperature and it never runs out. Get out. He'll be in there all day. There's nothing better to come home to, aside from me, of course. Hot water, heating and cooling. Total home comfort. Brought to you by me and Rinai.
Severe weather ahead? Being prepared is vital. That's why our AAMI Access app is able to send incoming alerts for your postcode direct to your phone. That's not very insurance-y.
Lucky you're with Amy.
At getcreditscore.com.au, you can get your credit score online now. It's safe and secure, it won't affect your credit report, and it's fast and totally free. Thanks to Get Credit Score, we are giving you the chance to win an A-Class Mercedes just by getting your free score. Plus, every week you could win $20,000 cash to help pay off your credit card debt. Put the power of your finances back into your hands. Head to getcreditscore.com.au now to get your free credit score.
Get to Godfrey's, all this stock has got to go. World famous stickbacks, less than half price, just $1.48. Carpet shampooers, an incredible $95. $300 bagless packs, just $99. And get a steam mop for just $1 more. It's all got to go, only at Godfrey's.
Welcome back to the grand final edition of the Friday Front Bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Mick Molloy wanted him on, and he is the man who's going to take Richmond back to grand final premiership glory. Neil Balme, everybody.
Oh, let's hope so.
Well, wouldn't it be nice?
It could be. Nearly as long as Footscray. Western Bulldogs. It was Footscray.
You're allowed to call it Footscray.
Neil, I'll start proceedings off. You're back at Richmond?
I am.
How long have you been there?
A week and a half. Not long.
Not long, so you've been away for a lot of years. And I don't know if just to rejig your memory, you might want to get used to some of these scenes. You've been at...
Sam.
No, I
just
hold
apologise for that.
You've had an era of success at Geelong and Collingwood and all that. I'm just saying, be prepared. You know what you've signed up for, mate.
Yeah, the Tigers. I'll be right.
We're right. We're on the right way. What's your first point of order, Neil? You walk back into the club. You've been away for a while. You've seen it from afar. What do you do? What's your first thing?
Keep you out of the joint.
Never.
So what's your job? What are you? Everybody...
Yes.
No, you're the boss, you're the director.
You
of
don't
footy.
have to take that from him.
But does every...
He's done his homework.
But does every key... Your position, does that mean that every key football decision that is made by all the elements of a football department come through you?
Yeah, it's effectively. Yeah, effectively. I don't make them, but I oversee them.
In consultation with the
absolutely.
people whose role it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
What is the biggest challenge then?
Well, there's no one thing because they all work so much together, but it is just a matter of deciding what the plan is and sticking to it. So probably coming up with a plan is the answer.
My understanding so far is the plan is to chip it sideways 6 times, then turn it over. Is that what you're working on there?
We're trying to cut the turnover bit out.
We're cutting the turnover out, and well, good luck. Good luck.
Let's just change the tune for just something happier. By the way, many of our younger audience wouldn't have even known that you played. Because have a look at these, mate. We've covered footy cards a lot this year. That one there, is that you or your sister? I'm not sure. Balme there. Pretty sure that one was taken Boxing Day after a big Christmas, Balme. That's
I want to know what your skin folds were there.
We didn't have skin folds in my day, fortunately.
That was the day.
Hey, Balme, you were at Richmond back in your day. You were you're a powerhouse. You're a successful... You're a ruthless team. Like, you're aggressive and you were talented and you were ballistic. Can Richmond reclaim a bit of that somehow? Can that... What drove Richmond under the Tommy and the GR and the days that you played? Can Richmond... Look at that. That's Matthew Richardson before he'd even been heard of, that sort of stuff.
There were no man buns in those days, were there? You just let the hair...
Well, I've never seen any of that footage. The footage I normally see is doing something dastardly. It's very kind of you to be
You don't like us playing that.
No,
but if you give us a green light, we'll pull it out. One gripe I have with you and your premiership side was your lack of respect for the cup when it was going around. What year is this?
74 if it's north.
74, and have a look. You've spent all years trying to win this thing, and you just...
While she's throwing it around.
It's just... Sheeds. I think that's Sheeds there, isn't it? Hey!
Okay.
The cops have come out.
The rattler dropped it. That's the only thing he dropped all day, fortunately.
Can I ask you quickly about your involvement in the Battle of Windy Hill, which was a notorious event between Essendon and Richmond? And let's tell... And you were the hard man of the league at the time. Tell us your involvement.
Fortunately, I may have been suspended or something, but I was in the rooms. I wasn't even in the game. So I can claim no responsibility.
You were in one of the most... the biggest balls in footy because you were already suspended. Well done, Neil. Well done. It's a great story.
We're going to say good day to another friend of the program, Balme. Time now to cross down to the MCG for the Carlton Draft Grand Final front bar, where our great mate of the program, Scotty Cummings, is standing by. G'day, big fella. How you going?
Hello, boys. Thank you very much for the invite. I'm here at the Carlton Draft Grand Final front bar, which is the ultimate viewing experience for the Grand Final. It's basically a pub on the doorstep of the MCG. There's fresh Carlton Draft, there's pub food, there's a pool table at half-time, massive screens to watch the game. Tomorrow there's going to be 3,000 screaming footy fans here, but as usual, there's always one peanut. Les.
Hello, Scotty, how are you, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm terrific. How are you going? What are you doing here?
Just force of habit, mate. Just come down here every year. So I've met a bunch of Hawk mates over a bit later. We made the arrangements back in February, so...
OK. Well, this is new territory for you, mate. What have you been doing with your time off?
It's funny, you know, once you have a look around, there's actually plenty to do. Right. We went to the opening of Kinky Boots at Her Majesty's Tuesday night.
Oh, terrific.
Scarecrow Festival down the Mornington Peninsula on Thursday.
Oh, I've heard it's huge.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. And Saturday or tomorrow, I'm going to a Nocky masterclass in South Yarra.
All right. What about tonight, mate? What are you going to do tonight,
Oh, I'm just going to duck over here. I'm going to give some Sydney Swans fans a bit of advice on what it's like to be hated by everyone.
You'd know, yeah.
Yeah. Did you really kick 8 on debut?
8-1. Should have been 9.
Yeah.
Good on you, big fella. Fantastic. Great to have you as part of the show. Hey, we've been running an online comp. On Facebook, and we're asking people what they'd like to see as part of the AFL's pre-game entertainment. Some fantastic suggestions came through all over the place.
Did they use my one?
Which one was yours again?
Involved the cash cow.
Right.
No,
you went a bit late with that. Maybe you have to have a crazy name to enter, because the winner was Bear Scott, as in Grizzly Bear, and he has won a year's supply of Carlton Draft. So thanks to everybody for the nominations that came through. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Barmy, I just while we've got you here, and by the way, you were magnificent in that cross to Scotty Cummings too. By the way, you're magnificent. But I just want to say, when you played, it was in the old days when players had jobs. I bring this up, Barmy, because there's this great photo that we found only today of you and your great mate Barry Richardson, who was a physiotherapist. That's you in the front, I think, Barmy. So, can you take us through this? Because it does look like a porno shoot.
Well, fortunately...
Do you remember that?
Fortunately, the lady in the middle was my wife at the time, or my girlfriend at the time, so it's not quite as bad as it looks. Or it's worse than it looks.
Then, if that's the case, I want Barry Richardson to get his hand off your knee right now. Oh, hang on, that's your knee.
Are you actually getting any sort of real ultrasound done there, or is that just for the photo?
I can't recall.
Right.
What about... Can we have the photo up again, though? Because your performance in it, Barmy, should never be overlooked.
Look at those jocks. You got a hinted jock there, and I'm going to go to a limb here and ask, are you wearing them tonight?
I don't think so. A similar pair, though, if you want to
we all
really
know
want to say.
Barmy free balls, we know that.
Who wins the grand final, Neil?
Well, I'd like to join in and say I believe that the Bulldogs can, and they can. Yep. But if I had to predict, I'd say Sydney probably will, but I would love to see the Bulldogs get up. But not that I don't respect Sydney.
So there was a touch of Barry Hall about that. Who did you actually tip in the end?
Well, so when you review it, I'll have said both.
Right,
No, I think I want the Bulldogs to win for all those wonderful emotional reasons, but I think Sydney probably will. I think they're a bit tougher. But who knows?
Loved having you on tonight. Can't wait to get you around to the Richmond Football Club. This could be the line in the sand moment when it all turns around. Yeah, I've been excited. I have to tell you, this guy's been pretty excited all day too. For some reason, he's got a man crush on you, Barmy. He's been
he saw that shot.
No, I just genuinely think from... And I've, a Carlton supporter, but just from afar, Barmy, you look like just the perfect bloke to have at a football club, mate. You mean for when you're at Geelong and then Collingwood, now at Richmond. And no love of Richmond, but I think they've picked a great man, mate. That's all.
Very good.
It's a genuine thing you've said all year, so...
Good on you, Barmy.
There'll be a line here somewhere.
No, there's not. I think he's done. I think he's
That's
out.
it. Get out.
Barmy, thanks for coming on the show.
very
The grand
good,
final
man.
edition of Friday Front Bar. Back on the other side of this to wrap that up. Stick around, more to come.
Dad? We might need to pick up some more bread.
Dad?
I'll pick some up.
Thanks. Dad, can you pick up some more bickies, please?
At Woolworths, we know what families go through.
You picked up some chicken.
So we've dropped hundreds of...
Right now, we're giving 250,000 Velocity frequent flyer points with an eligible NAB home loan plus banking bundle to take you on a well-deserved trip across the globe. So make the leap into your new home today, and we'll help you land a holiday tomorrow.
Harvey Norman 4 days of winning deals. Hisense 70-inch Ultra HD TV, only $2,696. Westinghouse FlexSpace Fridge, now $845, plus bonus delivery, install and removal. Save $40 on the HP Stream laptop, now just $245. 25% off Lazy Boy recliners and lift chairs. Up to 60% off mattresses, ensembles in Manchester. Buy any carpet with underlay, have it installed for just $99. Plus a huge 60 months interest-free store-wide. Don't miss 4 days of winning deals. Ends Monday at Harvey Norman.
Here's Lumumba. Have a look at this. Entering the ground last week. He's happy with himself. Does it remind you of anyone? Because, I mean, I saw Bobby here entering the pub earlier today, and...
I saw a very disturbing image during the week, and it was Patrick Dangerfield, one of my favourite players, posing like this.
And even the Jordan one was a rip-off of one we originally got going called Bobby Wings. I honestly can't tell you what, who, where, when.
Yeah! Hunt! Yeah!
Hey, you've created a monster.
Bobby had to have a lie down after the filming of that, by the way.
Who would have thought that just walking across set, you can overact? Just a simple shot.
Where would we have been this year and last without the great man, Bobby O'Kane, who's had us at his pub, the All Nations Hotel, every single Thursday as we've been doing the show. Bobby, we couldn't do it without you. Thanks for having us at your home right throughout the year. And to Tadhg Kennelly, who you've taught very, very nicely. Tadhg, you've done a super job behind the bar, mate. Good luck to your Swans on Saturday. All the very best.
All right, thanks for having me. Cheers.
Don't forget, the Bulldogs have got a fantastic opportunity. The big day starts tomorrow on 7 at sunrise, the program. We're going to be down at Fed Square. Great opportunity, all the colour of the day coming to you on Channel 7. And for a couple of Bulldogs supporters, come down in your colours, or Sydney supporters for that matter, and there's going to be a couple of grand final tickets given away. So if you're desperate to go and you haven't got them, get down to Fed Square first thing tomorrow wearing your colours, and there's a chance that you might be able to pick up a couple of tickets to the grand final, which is a fantastic thing.
You can enjoy a grand final if you know someone or there's a good friend of yours who barracks for that particular team. And I was thinking about this, and I've got a bloke who's a good friend of mine who happens to be a Bulldogs supporter, and he's in the room tonight. Can you give him a round of applause? It's Russell Gilbert. Love you, Russell. Russell Gilbert, ladies and gentlemen. You're a good man, Russell. That's what it's all about. I hope the Dogs win for that man and a few others, like for Luke Darcy and for everyone who's waited so long since 1954. Now the rough end down there. I hope it wins for you as well.
A couple of dodgy tops would have got in had it not been for Mickey Martin tonight as well. A lot of people will be like, big fella. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for being part of it all, big guy. Sam, who wins? In a word.
Sydney.
Mickey?
I'm going for the Doggies. I'm going for the Doggies. Yeah. I can do it.
Who are you going for?
I'm going with my heart. I'm going for Sydney. Well, I loved the Bulldogs a month ago, but, they've had so much success in the last 4 years.
On that note,
Go Doggies, go Doggies.
Don't forget, stick around for the footy marathon. Tim Watson bringing you all the action from the past great grand finals. What a way to set up what's going to be a fantastic day. Thanks to everybody for tuning in right throughout 2016. Everybody who's come on the show has been a barrel of laughs. And, of course, thanks to Carlton Draft, the best brewery fresh beer on the planet. We're done. Have a great day tomorrow. We'll see you next year.
Well, you work to earn a living, but on weekends comes a time you can do whatever turns you on. Go out and clear your mind. Me, I like football. There's a lot of things around. When you line them up together, the footy wins hands down. Up there, 'cause I lead. In there and fight. Out there and at 'em. Show 'em you might. Out there, 'cause I lead. Don't let 'em in. Fly like an angel. You're out there to win. Now there's a lot more things to football than really meets the eye. There are days when you could give it up. There are days when you could fly. You either love or hate it, depending on the score. But when your team run out or they kick a goal, howls the mighty roar. Up there, 'cause I lead. In there and fight. Out there and at 'em. Show 'em you might. Up there, 'cause I lead. Show 'em you hide. Fight like the devil. The crowd's on your side. The crowd is all